Some companies have as part of their constitution a structure which includes an independent nominations committee or a director selection committee. It's really typical in membership-based organisations and sporting organisations. The idea is that you've got this separate group to the board that forms a committee to select directors. The idea behind it is it gives a really important voice and connection to the membership in who's sitting on the board. It also makes sure that there's an arm's length process. So it's got some benefits in that regard, but in my experience, there's also some disbenefits. So I thought I'd talk about what are some of the things that I've seen that have worked well where you've got an independent nominations committee. So where you've got a committee that's structured totally of members, there's a couple of key things to bear in mind. And the limitations with that approach are essentially that you're getting only a skill set and experience set from your members and not a broader skill set. You've also potentially got this disconnect between the skills and experience that the board needs and what the members' understanding of that skill and experience is. And the third thing is you don't quite understand the dynamic of the board and what's going to be a good cultural fit. And I don't mean by looking and feeling the same as all other directors, but what's going to be the right personal attributes that a director needs to be able to work effectively in a board. So the ways to overcome that is making sure you've got a really good connection between the committee and the board. And typically that's by the board chair coming and speaking to the committee and giving the committee a really good rundown on the skills, the experience and the personal attributes that are needed. It might be that the board chair comes in at a couple of times, at the beginning of the committee's consideration and before they call for nominations, and then maybe again at the shortlisting stage, just to reiterate what the gaps are as far as the board's concerned. In some committees, the board chair or another director actually is allowed to be a member or is an observer at the committee, and that can be really useful to ensure that good connection as well. Another construct that I've seen work well is having an independent chair of the selection committee, and that means that you've got an independent person from the membership who's really effectively making sure that there's good input in terms of board experience and what makes for a good director from their broader experience. So you really want someone who's got a good deal of background in sitting on boards and being around boards for that role. Independent chairs can also have other useful benefits. They can be good moderators, particularly if there's some sort of dissension amongst the membership and who might be a suitable candidate to be supported by the committee. And they can also provide a level of objectivity that perhaps members sometimes can't provide. So if you're thinking about what makes for a good committee and what makes good process where your constitution's got a mechanism for an independent director selection committee, there's a couple of things to think about.